Hey guys, Horror Man again with another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Red Hood Jason Todd from the Arkham Knight game. This is a GameStop exclusive, just came out and it should be hitting the mailbox, or you should be able to find it in the stores any day now. So it comes in that same packaging that we've seen all the other Arkham Knight figures, nice clear window box. You can kind of see the Arkham Knight logo at the bottom here. Red Hood's nicely pictured in the box, and then you can see that it says Red Hood on the side, and then you can see kind of like this same kind of armored design with like the Batman chest piece at the top, and then there's like a little render, digital render kind of scanned picture of him on the side. See the Arkham Knight logo and also the GameStop exclusive logo. And then on the back you see that same digital render, a little bit of like a red coloring in here, and then you can see the other figures in the line. Now there isn't any picture of Red Hood on any of the other figures, so they kind of left that out. I'm not sure why, but there's no little product photography shot of him. So let's go ahead and take him out of the box and see what he looks like. Alright, so here's Red Hood out of the box. He's going to come with two accessories, pretty much the same exact thing. It's just going to be like a little bit of detail on this too, which is nice. You can kind of see this little Red Hood logo. But he's always been famous for having a couple guns. So it comes with two handguns, which are pretty big. And they have a real light weight to them. I don't want to say they feel cheap, but they definitely have a different plastic feel than some of the older Arkham City and Arkham Asylum figures. So he's a pretty nice looking figure. It's definitely a redesign based on obviously the game. Let's go ahead and get some details and close-ups of the face. So if you look at the helmet, it's definitely a much different helmet than what we've seen before. Another nice thing is he actually does have a real red hood. So that's the first time he's ever had that look. Now I would not recommend putting this hood back. And the reason is because it feels like it would just probably rip off from the glue. It's not really like that Scarecrow hood. It does have that pliable, like a soft rubber, but I do believe if you were to go too far back with it, it might actually ruin it and snap the glue. But if I take it back just a little bit, you can see some more details in the hood. You can kind of see the vent that he would breathe out of, and then there's like a little silver piece kind of going into the back, and it's the same thing on the side. I really, really wish the mask was actually removable, because I feel like with the material, how thin it is, I really think they could have probably worked that in, and it would have been great to see a Jason Todd face sculpt, one thing we have not seen in a long time. And it would have been kind of nice to see the face sculpt with the red just hood. So it would have been kind of a, you know, like a nice different approach to it. But either way, it's still a really nice sculpt. You can see the logo here. It's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. He's got this real worn kind of like scratch up feel to it. That's actually supposed to look like that. I've looked at some renders of the images from the game and it looks just like that. There's a little red like strap going across the front, which could be to hold some kind of armor on or something. You see these nice little red kind of details within the jacket. The jacket's got this charcoal type of color to it, and then there's like a light gray, almost like a chalky. It comes off as white, but it's got more of like a gray type of finish to it. And then over to the back, he's actually got this like stitch in the back of here. So I guess he got shot, or maybe got a cut on the jacket. And then again, you can see that hood's kind of like. The Red Hood symbol is kind of like roughed up looking. Looks like he might have painted it himself. Nice, you know, trim in here. He's got some little pads in here, and you can kind of see he's got these little like buckles on the sleeve, or like they're kind of like loose on there, and you can see a red shirt underneath. You can also see the red shirt underneath here, and there's these little green pieces here that almost look like something that Scarecrow has on his, or like Bane, you know, he's got that like that Titan stuff, so it kind of looks like that. So a lot of nice little details kind of hidden within this figure. And you really have to look it over to really appreciate everything. He's got a nice brown belt here, and then down to the pants they have kind of like this, like a brown, real dark brown pants. And then you can see he's got these little like clips on the sides of each of his thighs, I guess holding his ammo. And then down to the boots, which are my favorite part of this figure. These are just awesome. It's got this kind of armor all along the shin, and it goes up over top the knee. And he's also got these like silver kind of like buckles right over top of the boots toward the bottom. And Red Hood's always had that, so I really like that they kept with this. And then you can even see the straps on the back that are holding the armored guards on. So a lot of really nice details. The jacket kind of opens up just a little bit, revealing even more kind of color in here. You got like a dark gray in here. You can even see there's like a little cut in the shirt that he's used some kind of tape to seal up. So he's got a lot of battle damage on him, and it's kind of really nice to see that on these figures. So like I said, he comes with 2 accessories, both being the guns, and they are freaking huge. I'm not sure how big they're actually in the game. I've kind of seen some pretty much the same picture that everybody else has seen of them. But yeah, they look just a little bit bigger than they should. So I wouldn't want to be shot by one of these, that's for sure. But yeah, they're gigantic. So it's cool anyway. I mean, at least he comes with the guns, but I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about these. You do see some little red details, like right where the bullet would pop in the chamber. And then also, like I said before, there's a little Red Hood symbol on each gun, and it's on each side. So right here, and then right here. So, you know, at least he does come with some accessories. So as far as the articulation is concerned, it's a little bit different than some of the other Arkham Knight figures. You have a little bit of movement here in the head, but you really have to kind of be careful when you pose it. You have to really kind of push the hood back a little bit. You can get a little bit of left to right movement if you dare. And then, of course, you get movement here at the shoulder. He can come out really nice and far, which is nice. He can twist here and here. He's got the elbow cut. And he's got, of course, the wrist swivel. And it's actually like a double joint in here, which is surprising. He's got this one little extra piece that enables him to come really high up. So it's much better articulation than some of these other Arkham Knight ones. And then he's got swivel at the waist. He doesn't have anything right here. There's no ab crunch. And then the legs get a little weak. He can do a kind of a split, and he can move it up and down, but not much. So for a Robin, he's not very agile. And then the knee kind of has that same piece, giving him it appears to be a double joint, but it's still hindered due to the straps on the back of the boots. And then the feet can go up and down, and they can go left to right, but he kind of reminds me of that Arkham Origins Batman, where you really don't want to mess with these feet too much because you may have issues standing after a while. But I'm really happy about the articulation of arms. I think that's extremely good, and it's going to be really good for posing, especially with these hand cannons. So the only really disappointment as far as the articulation is concerned is going to be within the head sculpt, and pretty much anything like on the ab crunch and the leg area is a little weak. But overall, not too bad. Alright, so overall I'm pretty happy with the Red Hood figure. I will say they've, you know, as a Red Hood fan, I kind of wish they'd stop redesigning him so much. I did really like the classic look of him, but that being said, this is a kind of a nice redesign. It's something different than what we've seen before. I would have taken this over what they did with the face having a nose and mouth, kind of like they did with the Red Hood and New 52. But you know, it's redesigned, but it is kind of like fitting with the Arkham series, so it's really not that bad. My only real gripe about the figure is he has no head movement pretty much, you know, without possibly ripping the hood off, and I wish there was more leg articulation, especially considering he is Robin, so that's one of the other downsides to the figure. And the guns look a little oversized, but I really can't say anything on that because I haven't really, you know, nobody's played the game yet, so this could be, you know, authentic to the game. So besides that, I really do like the figure. You know, I would highly recommend it. You can buy this on GameStop's website. I wouldn't pay the eBay prices because it still was available last time I checked on GameStop for, I believe, $24.99. I got it a little bit early because I did pre-order it quite a long time ago, pretty much as soon as they announced it. So, but yeah, you could definitely pick this up. So yeah, don't miss out on this one. I think this is a really nice figure, especially the articulation arms. I think that was a really nice touch, and I do hope that's something they do more with, maybe with the Arkham Knight and some of the other gun-wielding characters in the future. So let's go ahead and do some comparisons. Alright, so here he is next to the Arkham Knight Scarecrow, and they're about the same height, which I think is about accurate, because Scarecrow was never a particularly taller character, and neither was Robin, so this is a pretty good height comparison. Here's next to the Arkham Origins Batman. It's not the best comparison, honestly, and I kind of said this in my other review, which was the Scarecrow Arkham Knight review. And the scaling from the Arkham Knight figures doesn't quite go very well with the older Arkham figures. Even the Arkham Origins ones, which really aren't that old. So I'm not sure what happened here, but the scale got a little wacky. You could see Red Hood's head is definitely bigger than Batman's, and they're really just about the same height. So the Arkham Origins Batman is actually shorter than the Arkham Knight Batman, which makes no sense. And here he is next to the NECA 89 Batman. These are out of scale also, which NECA typically were a little bit bigger, if not the same exact height as the older Arkham figures. You could definitely see there's a height difference here too. He is next to the Jinsao Tomy DC Collectibles custom that I had done not long ago, and this is the Red Hood from New 52, but he's got a little bit different head sculpt and blades were fixed. But anyway, you can see they're a little bit out of scale too. You know, it's the same guy, and he's significantly taller, a little bit bigger. You know, granted, it is a redesign, but he shouldn't be so much taller than, you know, himself. So, yeah, so these are, they don't really stack up that great next to each other. So also another thing worth comparing is the size of the guns. So the one on the bottom here is from the New 52 Red Hood, and then this one here is from the Arkham Knight Red Hood. So you can see there's a giant difference. And just in case anybody wants to see the Arkham Knight DC Collectibles next to the Multiverse, here you go. It's a huge size difference, obviously, but the Multiverse definitely kind of caught on to things that were going to be added in this figure, except for maybe a couple little details, especially in like the thighs with the different pouches and the boots not being painted. So there's definitely some things that were picked up on with the DC Collectibles version. So I've seen some really cool Red Hood figures come out in the past couple years. Still waiting on that Red Hood from the DC movie Under the Red Hood. Maybe they'll put that in the Batman the Animated Series line along with the New Adventures, so that'd be nice. But we still haven't seen it, so that's the one I'm really waiting for, and I'm kind of like overseeing so many redesigns of the character. I've had to have custom figures made just to try to capture the look of one of my favorite characters. So, you know, hopefully we'll get something really cool soon, but until then, this is the only Under the Red Hood figure that was ever made, and it came with a Best Buy Blu-ray, so he's pretty little when you compare him to the rest of the guys. So anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe, like the video, leave a question or comment, and thanks for watching, guys. See ya.